Let's refine it further. Let's refine it further. We're making Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch, where passion meets. From the start to the top, we can't be beat. Double clutch, we're making Mac. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, with Mike and Matt. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Let's refine it further. We Mike and Matt, lead the way. Let's refine it further. We're here to stay. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we're making that. Double clutch, it's where it's at. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Let's refine it further. Let's refine it further. Always on track. We'll make it back. With the clutch, double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track.
Yo, what up, fam?
What up? What it do? What it do, baby?
Chilling, man. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Double Clutch. Looking forward to this episode, bro.
Yes. Hey, this is gonna be crazy. Gotta follow up with that. But we took a break from it last week. But a month ago, that episode was ridiculously crazy. It was a lot of fun. So I'm excited about today, man. You know what I'm saying? Been a crazy weekend already, so may as well top it off with this.
Yes, sir. And for those of you who may not know what episode we're referring to the power feed episode where we tapped into the topic of power feed and why people do it. And so now we hitting the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yes. So some of y'all starving. Some of y'all starving them jokers, boy. Oh, anorexic snakes on Morph Market. We're gonna get into it. We're
definitely gonna get into it, but real quick before we deep dive on it, let's do a quick. Actually, let's pause for the calls. Shout out to the homies in the chat, and also shout out Husbandry.Pro, man.
Yes, sir.
Promo code DC Squad 60 gets you 60 days free of Husbandry.Pro. So make sure you tap in with that. That's available to brand new folks and also available to people who have inactive accounts. Inactive meaning it's been at least 6 months since you got your ass in Husbandry.Pro. So if it's been that long for you, get in there, get your 60 days free. Also, make sure you tap in with the Double Clutch Patreon family.
Yes.
Man, it's a whole movement, man. Having a bunch of fun in there, man.
And it's growing.
Yeah.
And all your money go to buying a snake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's just building up a savings account.
Exactly. Yeah, so definitely tap in with us, man. Double Clutch Patreon. If you're not a member, go ahead and get your membership. Then also, always tap in with the other Herp Collectors Network shows. We got 7 of them: Control Corner, Retech Rundown, The Moat, Grow House, Clutch Conversations, Double Clutch, and Morph Map. So definitely make sure you tap in with those. Man, tomorrow's Morph Map gonna be it's gonna be a good one, man. It's Sapphire Gene, and we got Jerome on there. We got Matt on there. Matt making another appearance on the Herp Collectors Network. Talk about that Sapphire Gene, which I feel like that's a gene that's kind of been slept on a little bit, man. What you think about that?
Man, I can't agree more with you. I don't have it and it's my fault right now that I don't. I've had opportunities to get it. I was just talking to somebody 2-3 months ago because I was like, dude, I need it. And he was like, dude, I got it. And I'm one of those dudes, and I hate that I am, but my 4 recessive projects, that I'm working, Paint, Clown, Hypo, and DG, I was trying to get it in Clown, but I couldn't tell. I'm waiting for somebody to make a combo in Clown where I could really see it because I couldn't tell what it was. Granted, it might be so wild in Paint or Hypo and DG that I don't need it in Clown, so I need to start thinking like that. honestly, and just go ahead and pull the trigger and get it, and not even worry about it being in clown. Because just my personal opinion, it doesn't do very much in clown. But I've seen it in other combos like mixed with fire and things like that, and it is a cool gene to have. And I'm gonna get it. I'm sure I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, same, man. Just like you, I had a couple opportunities to hop in, but
Yeah,
I didn't for one reason or another. It's definitely been one that's been on my radar. So definitely looking forward to tomorrow's episode.
yeah,
Yeah. So tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard
yeah,
Time. Check it out, more from out. Yeah. So real quick recap of the 2 episodes ago. 2 episodes ago, we talked
yeah.
about power feeding and how some people was just really going overboard with trying to get their snakes to breeding size as fast as possible. We talked about it from a health perspective. We talked about
Yeah.
it from an ethics perspective. Anything from that episode you want to remind folks about or kind of use to set
I
up this
mean,
conversation?
man, yeah. I mean, we had people on both sides of the spectrum in that episode. From those that's like, I'm feeding until they don't eat, and then we had those that was like, nah, I'm feeding once a week, once every 2 weeks, 10 to 14 days, whatever. That they came up with, and you know what I'm saying, that and that works for them. But I mean, like we said, we had some guys that were very, very, very adamant on, hey, I'm feeding. If they eating, then they eating because they're opportunistic animals. We had some people, we had some people saying that that people were starting to think ball pythons is actually smart when they ain't smart. It was fun, man. It was a fun episode, man. I had a lot of fun doing it. Had a lot of fun watching the comments of people chiming in the comments. So it was dope. So yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that stuck out. You know what? You know, I know most people are saying they breeding around, you know, 15 grams or wherever, or you know, somewhere. You know, now I'm just gonna feed them when they go off of food. I'm gonna plug something to them to get them back on. And so there's a bunch of different ways that yearlings being 1,000 grams plus, you know, versus yearlings not being that big. So, yeah, man, it's a sticky topic as far as overfeeding goes, because, like I said, like we were saying, when we got in the game in 2019, I thought I was thinking 3 to 4 years to get a female to breed, and then, like I said, and I love and I blame it on Miguel. I blame it on Miguel, and I'm not saying that in a bad way to this and Miguel, because Always Evolving Pythons is top of the line, top tier. I hung out with that dude at Pomona 2 years ago, and that's one of the funnest dudes ever to hang out with. So if you get a chance, hang out with him. He's a hella cool dude to be around, and a hella dope collection. But he's so prevalent on YouTube, and I follow every video he puts out on YouTube, which he hasn't put up. I haven't seen one in a minute, so Miguel, get on your game. But I love his YouTube channel, and like I said, it started clicking with me when I would watch Miguel cut an egg, tell me what's in the egg, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, show something coming out that just came out, and then a year and a half later, he talking about he pairing that same female. And then you in shock because you like, hold on, let me go back in YouTube and check the archives. And you like, that is the exact same clutch that he, you know what I'm saying? So, man, so some people are on that, feed them in, you know what I'm saying? They'll decide whether or not they want to go. So yeah, man, it was good. It was a good subject. Good topic.
Yeah. I was with you in terms of when we first got in, it was just basically a foregone conclusion. It was going to take a female like 3 to 4 years to get the breeding size. And as we start talking to more and more people, we start seeing more and more people was doing it different ways. Some people having like their snakes on eggs by the time they 2 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a variety of approaches out there. And so, like I said, last time we talked about power feeding. This time we talking about maintenance feeding to the point you almost starving your snakes, right? And let's talk about some reasons why people might want to underfeed their snakes. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it from a neutral perspective first, just to kind of like talk about the whole component of it without it having to take a side one way or the other, just so we can kind of talk about it. And so in doing that, I decided to ask ChatGPT. I said, hey, give me your top 5 reasons for why people underfeed.
Oh shoot. What Gigi talking about? What bullshit?
And so, I had to hit her up and see I
Oh.
just wanted to see what she was gonna say, right? And
Yeah.
so, and some of it I agree with, and some of it it's kind of like but I'll let y'all be the judge. Let y'all
Oh
be the judge.
shoot, yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
So number 5, belief in power feeding is bad without nuance. And so basically saying there's a growing anti-power feeding sentiment. While that can be good, some breeders misinterpret and swing too far to the other direction, underfeeding yearlings, hatchlings, when they're very young. Do you think that's the reason?
Oh yeah, I mean, man, especially in this hobby, it could take somebody saying one thing and then the whole hobby hops on the train and starts to run with this thing and without doing the proper research themselves. And that's why I love the saying in this hobby that a lot of people really don't, but the like what works for you is going to work for you and your animals in the environment that you have them in and whatnot. But it is very much so. I do feel like there's this movement right now of because it was like this when we first came in, and then it went to feed them, feed them, feed them, and now we do have this revolve. Now it's gone back a whole 180, and now people are saying, okay, well, you don't got to feed them that much, and this, that, and the other. So it's definitely a movement of it going on, and I think it will uh, cause some people to go the complete opposite direction and underfeeding their animals, and it'll happen for sure. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I like what you said from the beginning there. Like somebody can hear something from one person, and then that becomes their way of doing it. And if that person has like a big voice, like maybe they're like a influencer or a big YouTube or just whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can have an effect on people, and people kind of like overcorrect. And another thing too is like with newer people, I know just thinking back when I first got in, it was a lot of information out there about how to do this, how to do that. And sometimes the information was conflicting depending on like who you went with, right?
Yeah.
And so that in and of itself was confusing. And then so you also find yourself kind of going with the culture of the group or the reptile people or just whatever you was around most, whether that was a reptile group, whether that was like a close like real group like with real people, and you know what I mean, like y'all stay near each other, whether you got like friends, you know what I'm saying, there's all over whatever, just whoever you around, you know what I'm saying, influencing your thought. And so I do feel like some of that can kind of creep in there.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I remember when I was growing up, my parents used to always be like, especially in the church, they'd be like, our generation is a microwave generation. We want everything now, right? And so when you got a generation of people that, you know what I'm saying, want everything right now, instead of actually when in the game of ball pythons where you really can't get your information right now if you're using your sample size, right? You got to wait for that female to grow up or that male to grow up. You got to wait for it to breed. You got to wait for it to lay eggs. You got to wait, you know what I'm saying? And we don't really want that. And so the first piece of information that we get, we just run with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Bible now. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how this hobby is a lot of times, man. And so we just run with it.
Yeah, the good thing is that with most of the stuff like in this industry, like there's no substitute for putting in the work.
Right. None at all. None at all.
All right, so number 4. Preventing obesity or overfeeding. Some breeders fear that the risk of overfeeding, like fatty liver disease or poor egg production, and overcorrect by feeding too little. So basically, they don't want their snakes to get super fat. And so, like, again, it's them overcorrecting for something, but just kind of going too far with it. Do you think that happens?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely some obese snakes out there. But again, it also, for me, it comes back to doing some actual research and the knowledge on this species. Like, because I remember when all the fatty liver disease videos was hitting YouTube like crazy, but the majority of those videos were in big snake breeds, your retics, your berms, and things like that people were just pounding food in, and these things were dying in, less than half of a lifespan due to fatty liver disease and getting 10 feet in 2 years and stuff like that. a ball. When you understand a ball python is it is a heavy bodied animal, even in its short. It ain't no blood python heavy, but it does have some girth to it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So you got to know the species for sure.
For sure. That's actually a great segue into number 3, which was lack of knowledge or experience. Newer breeders may simply not understand proper feeding schedules or prey sizing, especially with certain species that have different nutritional needs. It's like
Yeah,
you basically just said all that.
yeah, yeah. And you have to. Yeah, you gotta understand what the animal needs, man, and do your research on it, because they all need different. They all need. I can't. I mean, there's so many videos out there about the different nutrients that are in a rat versus a mouse versus an ASF versus, all that stuff plays a factor. I know guys that will feed babies rats coming out because they got a lot of fat on them and try to get some fat on them first, and then they'll use the more slimming options of mice or ASFs. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, you just got to know. You just got to know.
I think it's an important theme between all those first 3. And the reason I'm stopping here is because I think the second 2 or the last 2 go a different direction. But it was a theme on those first 3 of unintentional overfeeding.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
so I feel like number 2 and number 1, I feel like this is a big part of it. A big part of it. And I think this is more on the intentional side. So number 2, space constraints. Underfeeding slows growth, which can delay the need for larger enclosures. Some breeders do this to avoid the costs and logistics of rehousing. Thoughts
yes,
on that?
man. It's bro. Oh my gosh, yes. Because a lot of people don't want to move their snakes up into I only use 3 tub sizes: FB5s, the B18, 5540. That's it. And I got to get some 70s for some of my bigger girls, but I only use those 3 sizes. And if you feed a ball python even weekly a proper size meal, it cannot stand an FB5 for too long. It's going to outgrow that FB5, and it's going to need to be moved up to that B18, whatever. And depending on
Which
your
one is the
tub,
FB5? I always get confused with
that's
my
the
Freedom
that's
Breeder
that
tub
skinny
size.
the skinny Freedom Breeder one. It's still okay. So you can
Okay.
fit 3 of those on the B18 rack or
Okay,
B18
gotcha.
shelf,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, man. It's the it's space, man, and yeah. I'll let you go into before I get too deep into talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Gigi she did a thing with that one. The next one too is it's the same thing. I
Yeah,
do agree that goes into it. I mean, we can talk about this now, we can talk about this later, but we both have seen like glaring examples of what appears to be underfeeding.
yeah,
Actually, let's save it for later. That way the folks have something to look forward to. But we're gonna
yeah,
talk about like some real world examples here in a few minutes. But
yeah,
I do feel like that's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Like you working with X amount of space, and you can put X amount of snakes in X amount of snakes. I mean X amount of space, and so if they're growing too fast, faster than what you're selling them, then that can incentivize you to underfeed the snake so the
right,
snake can stay in the enclosure that is
yeah.
currently in, like the
Hmm.
tub size that is currently in. I definitely think that happens a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
And then number 1, cost saving measures. Feeding snakes regularly, especially a large collection, gets expensive. It do. Some breeders underfeed to cut down on rodent costs, especially during periods of financial strain. You feel like that happens?
Man, what that happens for sure. I mean, even that it's not even a financial strain for me. I wouldn't even say it's financial strain for the most part for those people that are breeding. I say that a lot of people end up underfeeding due to the fact that they just not producing enough rodents, and
Yeah.
they're not built. It might not even necessarily be that they don't have the space, because they could have the space, but they're not factoring in. Okay, winter's coming. This might slow down a little bit, and they might not be keeping their temperatures at a certain temperature. So then they got animals dropping. Their clutches are slowing down their breeding in the winter, and then the summer it gets super hot. And I don't know any mammal. I don't know. I mean, I know for myself, I don't know too many mammals that like to be active when it's hot. Like I'm not trying to be active when it's hot. So I don't think my rodents don't. The rats sure don't. The ASFs, they everything, especially if you get a hot spell for a week long and it's 98 degrees like it was out here for us 3 days in a row last week. I'm already like, okay, that's why I overproduce, because I already know something's going to slow down. You know what I'm saying? It might be a few that just like, nope, those males took a few days off, and now I got a female who's, you know what I'm saying, going to be producing later. But it all plays a part in just, you know, that you're underfeeding, because you end up cutting. Because some weeks, I mean, even in my own experience, I've had to be like, okay, only thing eating this week is the breeder females, because I just ain't got enough rodents, because I didn't plan accordingly, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have the infrastructure in order to produce what it is I needed to produce. So it all comes down back to financial as well, because if you got the finances, then you can build that infrastructure that you need to support the collection that you have. But
yeah, I think we all done put some hits on the rodent production.
Yeah,
just like environmental stuff or just poor planning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can impact your numbers, and so then you got to make some business decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do I feed this baby that I'm not holding back, or do I go ahead and let that wean that I just put in there go ahead and survive till next week so I can feed it to something that's bigger? You know what I'm saying? Or my grow ups that I got, or let it grow out to let it grow out till it gets to my adults. You know what I'm saying?
I think an important thing to note there, though, like what you're describing is a temporary thing, right? It's not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You intentionally consistently underfeed an animal just because you're not gonna hold it back. You can like be down with however it progresses along the way. It's not that kind of decision. Is, hey, I got this many rodents, I got this many snakes, I got these goals. What do I need to do based on the circumstances?
Right. Yeah.
And how do I fix this problem going forward?
Right. Now, there are some people out there that are intentional about this. I feel like, as far as underfeeding their animals, especially the non-holdbacks.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on, if you got a not, and I like to know what the chat thinks as well, on a non-holdback? Let's say you got an animal up on Morph Market, you inquire about an animal on Morph Market. It's listed at 150 grams, but it wasn't updated. It hasn't been updated in 6 months. You're going to inquire about it. You're going to ask about the weight because you're expecting something to have progress. Where are you thinking that if it's not being starved and maintenance fed, that animal should be at in that next 6 months? You know what I'm saying?
You say 6 months?
Yeah. And it was 150 grams, and it ain't been updated since it was posted at 150 grams.
I don't know. It's at least got a double, but probably more than that, like 200-300 grams.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that, I mean, if it was 150 and you posted, and it's been 6 months, I mean, I know in the animal that I'm trying to breed, you can easily get 100 grams on that animal every month if you try to grow it up, you know. So I'm saying at least, you know, 30 to 50 grams for 6 months. That's, you know what I'm saying, you should be somewhere at that 300 gram range easily. That easy. Josh said 300 grams, but it's a lot of stuff out there that, you know what I'm saying. I inquired about an animal not too long ago. This animal is over 1.5 years old, and this animal they told me it was 275 grams, and I'm not. I mean, what do you do with that?
So when you talk to this person, did they give you a reason for why it was so small?
I'm not going to lie and say that they did, because I didn't even give them a chance to. The minute they said that it was 275, I just didn't even reply. Like, you don't even get.
What was the year again?
It was 2023.
2023, and it was 275 grams.
It was 275 grams.
That's crazy.
Produced in 2023. I don't
and
care if it was produced
reason for that.
But I don't care if it was produced December 31st of 2023. It's 1.5 years old by now.
Right.
You know, and there's, like you said, there's got to be a reason.
Like, either you underfeeding it or it's a bad eater.
Yeah, but one of the two. Like, that's an extremely bad eater, when me as a breeder, ethically, If
Or
I got an
sick.
animal that's only going to grow 300 grams in a year and a half, I'm not selling that animal. That animal will be donated to a friend or somebody, or to just sit here in the rack. And or, I don't believe in force feeding past a certain, you miss, you know, once you start eating, I don't believe in force feeding. So if you don't eat, that means the Lord might be calling you home.
Yeah, I don't believe in force feeding either.
Yeah.
Like, I'll assist feed you at the beginning, like a couple times to get you going. But once you eat on your own, if you go back to me having to assist feed you, then you about
Yeah.
to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah, right. You got to be spray painted on with bubble letters to spray it. Hey. Oh man. No, but you ain't lying though. Like if I have a problem with people start like I much rather it just be a bad eater and you let it, you know what I'm saying, let it transition, than for you to be starving an animal and feeding it once every 2 months, once every 6 to 8 weeks, some small pinky.
And the reason I say that too is because I feel like at that point, if I got to consistently force you to live, even though you showing me that you don't want to do like the most basic thing, which is self-preservation and survive, then if I'm having to force you to do that, you're not going to be a good pet for nobody. You're not going to be a good companion for nobody. You're not going to be a good breeder for nobody. And then you're going to also pass along that
trait,
unwillingness to live to other snakes. And we just proliferating the problem. So you might as well just nip it in the bud.
Right. Yeah. And that,
and I'm gonna give you every opportunity to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Every opportunity.
And that comes with the hobby. That's a part of the hobby that people have to understand, that you do have to do that. Sometimes you it's not only rats that you gotta humanely, you know what I'm saying, send them on the glory. It's and that's with anybody that deals with animals. If you on a farm, if you breeding horses, whatever it is that you got going on, there are times if it's a unwilling animal that's unwilling to thrive and failing to thrive, then you have to. I just hate because I don't know if people that have these things online on Morph Market that like the weight that I inquired about this animal at, or that animal that I inquired about, versus if they're having a feeding problem or they're just starving the animals. Because like for me, do you think that here's one thing that goes through my, because we talk about obesity on one side, right? And then if you jump to the whole other side of the spectrum, do you believe like, because malnutrition, I mean, if you're malnutrition and as a human, that stunts your growth development, that stunts your brain development, that, you know what I'm saying? Now you're behind because of the lack of nutrition. You feel like that happens as well with the reptiles as well? You think that it stunts their growth or their ability to be able to grow up and reproduce in the way that they should and in a timely manner?
Yeah, I think so. For sure. Yeah. Going back to problem feeders though, real quick before we get off that subject. And the reason I asked the dude disclosed it is because, like, for example, the other day I posted a snake. I've had this snake for a few years now, and she's a great snake, but she's a sometime an eater, right? Like when she on, and you better watch out. But when she off, and she off for a while, right? And so she kind of on both sides of that spectrum. And so I put in the ad and disclose that. Say, hey, this girl can be a problem feeder. When she's on, but when she's off, she's off. And I don't recommend someone new to ball pythons or new to reptiles to buy this, right? So full disclosure, putting all the stuff out there. She was like 1,300 grams. So didn't have no issue or no worries about, hey, is this snake gonna survive? I mean, clearly she's gonna survive. She just eats on her own cadence, you know what I mean? And that cadence unfortunately didn't work for like my breeding needs, you know what I mean? And so no point in keeping this girl back when I got other girls coming up behind her who do what I need them to do, you know what I mean? And so sold that girl. But I disclosed that, and to me that goes a long way in terms of like being honest and keeping it a buck with people, because you can keep it a buck with people and they know the rules of engagement versus trying to like slide some on people. Then that's a whole different story. And I feel like for a snake to be that old, like you said, even if it was in the last month of 2023, for it to be 275 grams, something had to be wrong. Like either you underfeeding it, either it's a terrible eater, or it's sick, or all three,
Yeah,
or
right,
whatever. But it's something. You know what I'm saying? That's just not normal.
right. Yeah, no, it's not normal at all, bro. And it, somebody said, SOC Reptile said, feeding them pinkies to save money, they shouldn't be allowed to be on Morph Market. Well, I've kind of,
And that's like feeding them gummy bears or something.
right. You know what I'm saying? That's like, that I definitely agree, but I don't Morph Market got people on there now that's known scammers. So I don't know where their bar is at any longer. And and I love Morph Market and I use Morph Market, and that's no disrespect to Morph Market, but their bar is like this. Depending on your name and your brand, their bar fluctuates with whoever they want it to fluctuate with. So I doubt people will get kicked off for having that. But yeah, no, it is to save space and money and time, man. It all goes back to, and to me, it's unethical to starve an animal just because you don't have the resources in the space, because you haven't planned out your breedings, or you're doing too many breedings. You haven't, ordered another rack because you don't have the income or funds to, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, it's very unethical. Like I said, I didn't even respond to that person because that, to me, and if they had disclosed that in the description, hey, it's a problem eater, because there are people, and I've had some myself, that snake that you just sold as a problem feeder could go to wherever it's at now and be an eater like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes some snakes just need that switch up, and they be like, oh, okay, I get it now. My bad. I screwed you over for 4 years, but I get it now. I don't want to move again, so I don't want to get on another plane, so I'm going to act right now. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes these snakes do that, man, and it's wild the way that they do that. But, yeah, unless it's just that, man, yeah, I don't know. Because is that what you do? Do you buy, like when you're a researcher or about to buy something and you see it's been up for 6 months or so and there ain't been no change? Do you ask about weight or what their new weight is at before you go ahead and purchase?
Oh yeah. Because I definitely want to know, like, is it still at this weight or have you just not updated the weight?
Right. Because granted, I understand and know as a breeder, like Josh is saying, and he said, his holdbacks get fed twice a week. He's not going to feed the things he lists up on Morph Market the same rate as he's feeding his holdbacks. No,
right. I mean, that's natural.
Yeah,
I think.
No, nobody's not going to. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to feed it every 7. As a baby, I'm going to get those first 5-6 meals in it like good, so it got some meat on its bones, and then I'll switch it to every 10 days or every 2 weeks for a non-holdback. But yeah, man, if the weights ain't matching, I feel like people are starving their animals, and it's causing a lot more bad than it is good as far as stunting the growth or malnutrition and things like that. And you had mentioned earlier, like, what are some reasons that people might do it? And one I thought about was and then this ain't even like a malnutrition, like this wouldn't be a one that's on purpose, like doing it on purpose, but because you started bidding shows, right? You're doing the shows now. And so for me, last year I had a triple three-peat back to back. I had one in Sacramento one weekend, came home so that I drove out 2 hours, came back 2 hours, then drove out to Reading, which is 4.5 hours, drove out there that next weekend, did a show, then came back, and then the next weekend after that, it was the local one, which was like 45 minutes from me, an hour away. And then I did that one. So that was 3 weeks in a row. I could not feed those animals because I don't feed 10 days before a show. At least 10 days, because I don't want anything pooping in the tub, in the display cases or nothing like that. So I don't feed. So those are some things that happen unintentionally, but intentionally, because I am planning that I'm going to be at a show. But those animals aren't going to get fed for that period of time. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I know. That's That's totally understandable in my
Yeah,
opinion. Hey, real
yeah,
quick, let's pause for the sponsor break and then come
for
right
sure.
back.
Experience the epitome of elegance and excellence with Reagan Renee Rural Pythons. Working projects like DG Krypton and DG Clown, you can place your bets on quality and let Reagan Renee be your winning hand. Expect innovation and unmatched customer service with every interaction. Elevate your collection with the finest quality ball pythons. Visit them on Instagram and Morph Market. Discover the extraordinary at Reagan Renee Rural Pythons.
Step into a world where dreams take shape with Ozzy, a true leader in the reptile industry. Known for unparalleled customer service and a dedication to excellence, Ozzy sets the standard. His cutting-edge projects continue to inspire and push the boundaries of what's possible. Submerge yourself in a future full of possibilities. Join the journey, embrace the innovation, and above all, keep dreaming.
Yo, big shout out to the sponsors.
Yes,
Big
sir.
shout out to the sponsors.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Ozzy sent an email the other day with a crazy combo on there. And I was like, okay. What was it? It was Super OD. I'm pulling it up right now. Super OD, yellow belly, spot nose, cypress, banana, possibly black pastel, clown.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's just glowing, bro.
Wow. Yeah, I know that's crazy.
Yeah, real crazy. But I like those banana cypress clown combos.
Yeah, banana and cypress, they go well together. They go well. See, I just had she ain't banana cypress. She banana acid head clown. She just dropped her very first clutch. The girl I produced back in 2022 just dropped her first clutch for me today. Just pulled her clutch before the show, right before the show. So I love banana. I love working it. Love. I mean, you know.
Yeah, see that? Probably
Ooh,
hard.
yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm interested to know what it would look like once it gets some size on it.
Yeah, me too.
You
And
know,
then I saw Chris. He hatched I think a super gravel, ultra male, and it was one more gene in there. I feel like super gravel, ultra male, hypo. How did I forget hypo?
oh my gosh, I saw that today. Oh my god,
That was crazy.
yeah, that's bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm
That
telling
color
you,
was
'cause
just so rich.
my
My
goodness.
brain was like, ah.
Yeah, now you got to keep that ultra milk.
Yeah. Yeah, my ultra male been doing a little bit of something this year too,
Yeah.
so we're gonna see. But
Now
yeah,
you
I'm
gotta
like
keep it.
I can't let go of that ultra male now.
Bro, I saw that. I know because I saw it earlier and I was like, what the heck is this, bro? Like it was, and then my mind got to going because I got that super gravel male, and my mind got to going like, oh shoot, I might have to put him to some females this a lot more than what I was planning to. But I ain't got no ultra. Then that thing, whew,
super gravel, ultra male, hypo.
That's a triple recessive right there, people.
Yeah.
Triple
If
recessive.
you know, you know.
Better catch up before you get left behind, because I saw that thing was it had everything. It had everything you look for in an animal that you're like, this is gonna stay pretty for the rest of its life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna brown out, it ain't gonna get ugly, the colors ain't gonna fade. It's one that you like, yeah, this is going forever. I could display this thing forever.
Yeah, I really did like that animal, and so that they got my wheels turning.
Yeah. Don't get out that ultra male yet. Where Jackie at? Yeah. So he done messed up. He done messed up getting out that ultra male, man. Oh shoot. I had a point I was going to ask you. It slipped my mind during that. So
Let me look at my notes real quick too. And
where are you at? I know I do mine like every 10 to 14 days, mainly every 14 days because I'll feed them. I feed my holdbacks every week for sure, twice a week. But the second Sunday after I skip one, I usually feed the non-holdbacks as well. What's your schedule like?
I got the same. Because
You
I
on the
feed
same?
them the same day of the week. But my holdbacks, obviously, they're getting fed more than the non-holdbacks. But I just do it on the same day of the week, if possible, just to make it easy to keep up with.
Yeah.
Like occasionally, like I'll alternate a little bit. Like sometimes I might do Saturday or I might do Sunday, but it's basically within that same kind of like 24 hours between the Saturday and Sunday, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Like for example, tomorrow, right? I got a bunch of stuff I need to do uh before the afternoon, right? On the computer with the network and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed the night so I can have that out the way. And so during the time when we doing rodents and they kind of getting everything prepared, I can do
Yeah.
stuff and getting that done. You
Right. Okay.
it just kind of like depends on what's going on at the time. But
Yeah.
basically that Saturday, Sunday window.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, I just read that comment. It had threw me for a loop for a second. Do you have a photo of that one? Or shoot, I could probably find it on my phone. No, that comment it threw me for a loop because my phone was blocking part of it, and I read talk about it, but not one photo, and then I just saw the clown emoji, and I thought somebody was trying to cyberbully me. I thought somebody was trying to call me. I was like, hold on now, wait a minute. And then I was like, I moved my phone and said, stick it to clowns. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No, that would be super dope in a clown for sure. I'm sure. But even by itself, because I'm one of them guys that's really moving towards everything don't need clown for sure. But that thing is put some more jeans on it. It's crazy. I'll try to find it. Was he posted it on Facebook, huh?
Yeah, I'll share it real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it is it's something to marvel at, man. He's one of those guys that's just taking
Can y'all see that?
some code. Yeah. Look at that, man. It's so rich, and
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
it's like a orangish red, like burnt. Like, oh man.
Like that to me, that just looked like a great base to work like so many other things and get some nice contrast in there, get some flaming in there.
Yeah.
Like you can do a lot.
Oh man. Yeah, so much, man. So yeah. Oh, look at Jaffe just hopped. Yeah, Jaffe. I hope you saw that ultra mail right there that you passed up on. Now you can't make that. Since you quit on the team, you quit on the team ultra mail, bro. But yeah.
You had any more talking points about the underfeeding? You said you had a question.
Man, I can't even remember what you know. Did you have any on there?
No, I look back at the notes and we covered everything I wanted to touch on.
I mean, I didn't have any. I mean, basically, for me, it's I would rather people be. I'd rather. I'd rather people like Gigi said. You know what I'm saying? People have been so scared of the whole. Oh, it's gonna be obese. That they've completely diverted to the other side and just began starving their animals, especially when it comes to stuff they're listing, and it's an intentional thing, and they're just like, and we have this mindset that we're like, oh well, they don't need to eat every day. They'll be, you know what I'm saying? They'll be fine. Snakes can, because granted, I've had a female, like I said, I believe I've said it on here before, that went off of food for 9 months, but this female again was when I first got in the game, and boy, she had a hefty fatty rat twice a week for her whole first year. And was she had to be about 1,200, 1,300 grams within that first year. Like, she was a monster. And I was like, oh, I'm about to have her on eggs in 18 months. And she said, nah, player, nah. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm
shut down on you.
Oh, shut all the way down, bro. But I'm more on that side. Like, if you were to, if I had to choose, I would choose, okay, well, I'm going to overfeed them because at some point they're going to stop. I haven't heard of, at least in the ball pythons, and I could be uneducated because I haven't researched it enough, If I am, I'm sure Elias gonna tell me and gonna send me a message later. But heard of many people saying, you know what I'm saying, I did a autopsy on my ball python and it died of fatty liver disease. You know what I'm saying, or something like that.
You say you have not heard of many people saying that?
You're right, yeah. Versus like, you know, the bigger snakes like the berms and the retics, because there's, if you ever see like a berm or a retic, and they're not as big as the ones we have in captivity. They're not, as far as girth goes. Like retics are not this freaking big around out there in the wild. They're more of a slender body for as long as they are animals.
I feel like they're more prone to like getting fatty liver disease and just overeating to the point to where it's detrimental to their health. Because like you said, man, a ball python, like they shut down. I know he was laughing a couple episodes back saying, "Oh, ball python is smart now," but they're shut down.
They're down. They'll look at that rat and be like, get up off me, bro. I don't want it."
And like you can tell as soon as you put that rodent in there, whether or not they're gonna eat or not. You can tell as soon just how they look at it.
Yeah, or they'll be in the back of the tub curled up. They ain't even turn, you know what I'm saying? Because my rodents is in the room at least 5-10 minutes before I start feeding. You know, sit in the air a little bit, and if they ain't at the front of the tub, they ain't gonna eat. They're not gonna eat.
But yeah, like a boa.
Oh yeah, boas will. Yeah,
they don't turn down.
They don't know when to stop. They don't know. They don't know when to stop. So yeah, it's. But like I said, I haven't seen much of it, so I would gear more towards the overfeeding side than underfeeding. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like stunting the animal's growth at the end of the day is not that doesn't do good. I'm not going to take a chance. In my experience now, I'm not going to take a chance and buy an animal that's 300 grams in a year and a half old. I'm not going to do that.
What Jaffe said about taking like some time off occasionally, I do that, but I ain't gonna even lie to you. It's probably 50-50 of why I do it. Sometimes it's just a week for me to take off. One less thing to do that week, and it's just extra good because it's helpful for an animal. Yeah. And so I ain't gonna lie, it's a solid 50-50 here. But I agree 100%. Yeah. We talked about that last episode too, as far as like giving them a break and letting them. We wanted to get Billy on tonight to talk about like his feeding process and whatnot, because he was the first one who I heard like start talking about that, and he brought on Dr. Ali. We just went through this last time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He brought him on. He was talking about it. He was talking about it, and that was the first time I started hearing about that and the whole process that their bodies had to go through. Dr. Warren Booth. Boom. I mean, Jaffe like put it.
There you go. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with Josh. I mean, I might 2 to 3 times. What do you say? Every 3 times a year. You more dedicated than me, because I would say I'm more. I wouldn't say 2 to 3 times a year. I'm more like maybe like 5 to 6, 7 times a year, where I'd be like, I'll clean the rats, and I'm like, nah, I'm just putting all these rats back into the next tub. All the ones that I pulled, you know, that I should be taking into the room, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just put them, leave them in here, let them grow out another week, and they'll make up for it when they eat it, because they'll get that extra weight on them. Because something like you said, sometimes like you know, when you're working and you then coming in here, you're dealing with the animals every day of the week. Some days I'll be like, you know. Especially if it's at the end of breeding season right now, like where I know the females that are still going to go this year, and I know the ones that have already, for the most part, reabsorbed, or they're not going to go, and I couldn't even try pairing them again until fall time. Oh man, I'm like, okay, I'll bring in 15 for the females I know that still need to eat, but the rest of y'all can fast and pray this week. I'll be back with y'all. I'll be back with y'all next week. It'll be good. You know what I'm saying? You will be just fine. You know. So, but yeah, no, I definitely do that sometimes. But I mean, even just on that topic, I mean, it's weird because even right now, like you said, with your female, and it's unintentional, but that pied female that you have was just inconsistent for you. I have a spot nose desert ghost female from 2022 that she's at 4.5 months right now. Yeah, I think I marked her off for 4.5, 5 months. She hasn't touched anything. She won't even. She will. She'll be. I'll put something in there with her.
DG.
Yeah, it's the same female that when I bought her, Justin from the homie from Los Angeles, he had bought her brother, that male that made the triples for him.
Okay.
This is his sister. Yeah.
So she's spot nose DG what?
Well, she was supposed to be spot nose DG. She was 66% head clown, posse hyper. She tested negative for both of them jokers.
That's crazy.
And I bought her in 2022, so she was 4K for a spot nose DG, for what turned out to be a spot nose DG, because one of those share tests had rolled out a little bit after that. But either way, she ain't, bro. I'll put something in there and she'll just start playing tag with it. She'll walk up on it, get all close, touch it, and then go back the other way. Like she ain't even. I'm like, well, you know. So
speaking of shed testing, big shout out to the homie Charlie. Sent me by some good news this week.
What you got?
So my GHI red stripe, spot nose, yellow belly, clown female proved hit hypo.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's okay.
I know a lot of people don't like when you say it like this, but I'm gonna say it like this. Y'all just have to get mad at me. A GHI Pompeii hit hypo female, and no, she ain't got black pastel. And then I got what I believe to be vanilla, spot nose, red stripe, yellow belly, GHI. Hit clown also proved to be hit hypo. Also a female. So I'm keeping both of them girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey,
Big shout out to the homie. What comment?
That comment that Josh just put up there, I think is very important. That he said that you're setting a new buyer up or any buyer up for, because they are habit forming, right? And so what you said, like just like with that spot nose DG that I said hasn't eaten, that's why I decided maybe like 3 weeks ago, I'll feed everything else, but I'll let her smell. She could still smell everything that's going on in the room, but I don't even put nothing in there for her because I'm trying to break that habit, like of seeing a rodent and refusing a rodent. So I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give her maybe like 6 weeks of not even seeing a rodent, and then I'm gonna try to go ahead and dump something in there with her. But you're right though; they are very habit-forming animals, and yeah, they won't want to eat every 3 weeks if they are used to not giving that opportunity or things like that. Yeah, so it definitely goes both ways.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to maintenance fed snake either because I feel like it's setting me up for failure.
Yeah, they are, and you know. So I encourage people, especially if you new to the game, whenever you buy a snake, inquire the birth date. If they got a YouTube, go check when they posted the clutch coming out, or their Instagram when they posted the clutch, whatever. If they doing all that, but you know, that's important. What up, Keith? That's very important, man. Nobody wants to make
what up, homie? Man, if y'all didn't see last episode of Clutch Conversation, go check it out, man. Me and the homie Keys and Wiz was on there chopping it up, talking about the new face of the industry, man. It was a good conversation. So definitely go check it. Definitely go tap in, check that out.
I gotta go listen to that. I've been on a whole nother world time right now since I got back from Hawaii. I still don't know what day it is. My wife reminded me that I had the podcast tonight.
Man, I meant to ask you about that. How was the trip?
Oh man, it was cool, man. It was a blast. Because I mean, that was my third time going. The military sent me and the wife the first 2 times, but then this time we wanted to take the kids, man, and it was I think we bought our tickets 76 days before the trip, right? 76 or 86, one of those two. And the wife told the kids when she bought them, bro, I promise you, they counted down days every day talking about. And my son, he's 5, so he don't really know the day concept yet. My 8-year-old, she knows Monday, Tuesday, like she knows next week, all that kind of stuff. But man, they would ask every other day, how many more days to Hawaii? How many more days to Hawaii? Got on that plane ride, and got there, man. And we got there at 12 at night. And so the next day, it was, man, I think they might have spent, if we was down there outside for 10 to 12 hours, they were swimming either in the beach or at the pool for 8 of those hours. Like they didn't want to get out the water. They had so much fun, man. That's what it was all about. We was on the beach and a seal came all the way up, like dang near to the shore. It was swimming by everybody and stuff. It was hectic cool. Yeah, it was dope, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world. We had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded like a lot of fun. Then you came home to a big 15-egg clutch.
Oh, that was crazy. That was my biggest clutch ever to this point or to this day. And yeah, she laid that clutch, and then I had to use 2 tubs, and that's the first time I ever had to put a clutch in 2 tubs. 2 tubs, man. I'm like, golly. So yeah, man, they was big hefty eggs. They weren't 15 small eggs. They're huge. They're huge eggs. So yeah, man, it was great to come home to. I got so many. I'm having this year. It's gonna be crazy. I think I'm having about 23 clutches as of right now. 23? I'm looking at 23.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did 14 or 15 last year. So this will be cool.
Yeah, I was trying to tell Takara that 14 clutches wasn't bad. People do way more than that, so I'm glad you confirmed it.
No, it ain't bad at all. It ain't. Well, shoot, I just signed up. I had to sign up for another show because I'm like, shoot, I do got some clutches. I need to sign up for at least one more show. So I got 3 more this year to go to. But again, that good old morph market is like a show now. I'm telling you right now, boy. So yeah, man, it's going good though. Season's going well. Hawaii was good, and I got a new pickup. I ain't announced it yet. I got it from Rec Room Snakes from Mary. What's her husband's name? Dang, can't even remember her husband's name right now. I got that card somewhere in here, but
that Champagne Albino.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. little spider champagne mix that I picked up. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm excited about it. He in the racks right now, chilling. Try to feed him tomorrow for the first time.
He's spinning.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Have you picked up anything new?
Nah, no.
Yeah. That's the only thing for me this year. The wife said, "That's it. That's it." And I told her, I said, the family don't even pay the business card no more. I sell snakes to pay the business card. You know what I'm saying? She was like, nah, no more snakes this year. You got one. So you got a good one, though. You
got one snake this year?
One snake this year. That's it. That's all I've gotten is one snake. And he's really going to push my projects forward for sure. So, yeah, excited about that.
Nice. All right, man. You got anything else?
Nah, man. That's
Santos. We see you.
That's all I got. We had an hour like we do. Get in there, get up out of there, and then hop on. Go hang out with the kids and have one headphone in talking to them, and one headphone out so I can talk to them, and one headphone in so I can listen to the homies over there on Whiskey Bomb Network. You know what I'm saying? Do their thing tonight with Sophisticated Ignorance. Yeah, man.
And that's gonna be a whole movement. So definitely go check that out tonight, right after here in about an hour or so, hour and a half ish.
Yeah.
It'll be on when it be on.
Yeah. Going down, shoot, I can say it though today too, because we was on time today. We was at 5:01. You know what I'm saying? We went live at 5:01, so I don't want to hear nothing. Oh man. So yeah, they might pop on that 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
They Blade Wiz.
Yeah, right. Yeah, who knows? So yeah, hop on over there though tonight though. When y'all done with this, go get something to eat. That's what I'm about to go do. Go grab something to eat. Then hop on that. So for sure.
Big shout out to the homie Wiz in the building again. He said hashtag Blade Wiz too. But yeah, man, let's go do it for tonight's episode of Double Clutch, man. Appreciate y'all sliding through, tapping in with us as always. Big shout out to the replay gang. Big shout out to the audio only gang. If you're checking this out on the audio podcasting platforms, that's a wrap for tonight, man. For Double Clutch, I'm Mike. It's the homie Matt. The lovely lady behind the scenes is Takar. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed.
Don't underfeed.
Peace.
With Mike and Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch where passion meets. From the start to the top, you can't be beat. Double clutch, with Mike and Mac. Double clutch, it's lyrics set. Double clutch, we lead the pack. Double clutch, always on track. With Mike and Mac, we lead the way. In the reptile world, we're here to stay. Double clutch where passion meets. From the start to the top, we can't be beat. Double clutch, with Mike and Mac.